SewingGold.com. I'm going to explain a couple small issues that some people may have with just basic things on a Juki straight stitch. This could go for any straight stitch machine. So the first mistake that a lot of people do is instead of taking the thread going from there to the spool, to the thread stand, what they do is they'll take the thread, come on, auditor, they're going to take the thread and they're going to go directly to the machine. And when you do it that way, you put a lot more tension, because instead of it coming from down where it's supposed to flow freely from the top, it has to pull that spool. Okay? So that's one problem that could cause gathering of the material or adding more tension. The other thing could be using too thick of thread. If we're using, let's say, a size 69 nylon thread or a 69 like jean thread, you have to reduce the tension on the machine. It's too tight for the machine. So if you're using jean thread, make sure you loosen the tension. That would mean loosening the top or loosening the bottom, which is on the bobbin case. There's a screw on the bobbin case. If you need help with that, just give us a call or shoot me an email on that. Okay, so the next issue I want to go over, which also has to do with possible bunching of the fabric, could be also the pressure on the foot. So if there's too much pressure on the foot here, let's say if you're doing something really thin, you could reduce the pressure on the foot a little bit. You could just turn this knob like 3 whole turns counterclockwise, and that should reduce the pressure. Okay, so can you thread the machine up? Okay, so watch how Jose threads this. You don't have to go through both of those. You only have to go through one. And so what's really important is to make sure that you have the presser foot in the up position when you're doing this. So we're going to put the presser foot up. We're going to go through the discs and over the check spring. So under and over, and then under. So over the check spring and under this L lever here, and then up through the guide. And then we're going to go through the take-up. And this is in the video for the machine also. We're just going to go over it one more time here. And then making sure that you thread the needle from left to right. The other thing to mention here is when you put the foot all the way down, what I want you to do is I want you to put the feed dog can you put the feed dog down? Make sure the feed dog's all the way down. And now if you put the presser foot down, the presser foot should have no play in it. So if I push on the presser foot, there shouldn't be any play in it at all. It shouldn't be able to move. If it's moving, you may have adjusted the knee lift wrong. So the way to tell if you adjusted your knee lift wrong, not only will this have no play in it, it'll be stiff. Can you take the umbrella out? So we're going to take the umbrella out. This is something to check. So if your machine's gathering when it's feeding the material, once you take that piece out, this piece out, your knee lift won't work. So this will not lift the foot. As you can see, I can't lift the foot and I'm pushing on it, but it'll also make sure that this is in the right position. So if you check this now, if it was gathering with the knee lift working, and then you check this now, it's possible that it's not feeding properly because this foot was up too high. And lastly, the tension, which is 99% of the causes of gathering would be the tension. So if you have this tension too tight, meaning if the tension has been turned like this, you see how far in it is, it's going to gather the material. Or if you have really thin material, the material could gather. So then you're going to want to loosen this. This is not like a household machine where you have to go little by little. You could actually do it quite a bit where it's not going to do a lot. So you're going to have to back this off if you see it's gathering. So if it's gathering the material, back off on the tension. Okay? And then like I said, try taking out the umbrella just in case it's not feeding properly. If it's feeding unevenly, then the foot is probably up a little bit, and you're probably going to have a little problem with that. So check those things out. If you have any other questions, give us a call, 888-505-4565. Do you have anything to add?
No.
What else?
The main problem is the tension.
Okay, so as Jose said, who's my mechanic, he said the main problem with gathering is the tension. So if there's too much tension, it's going to gather the material, and especially thin material, it's going to gather. The thicker the material, the less it's going to gather. And also, the thicker the thread, the more it's going to gather too, because it's more tension. So the thicker the thread, the more the tension is going to be on here. So you have to loosen that tension up with thicker thread. Okay?